Hello, what's up guys? Today, Sunday, I'm making this video just because I want to recap on some stuff. On Friday before YCS Dortmund, I actually made a tier list. Most of it just got erased from my computer. The system crashed and the files are nowhere to be found. But I still have some of it in the form of a tier list. And it was a tier list for the potential decks on YCS Dortmund and how the meta can unfold. So I want to share this before the YCS ends so that you people can get a hold of the view I had on Friday and how it is actually working out to be what I expected. You guys tune in and enjoy.
As we all know, the ban list just came up on the 25th of September. And so we have some new faces here in the meta and some old faces too. This is how I consider the meta it's going to be like from now on until Age of Overlord. But specifically for this YCS, I arranged the tiers in the decks in this way. Unchained, purely Rescue Ace, for me being the best 3. Purely just has the raw power of Expert Lenore, which with a Riser not being the format, you still have to prepare for an XYZ that's unaffected by other stuff. So the Kaijus and the Herald of the Abyss and all that stuff should still be in the deck, since you don't want to face a purely player and not be prepared. Now Unchained has proven itself to be the best deck out of these, just because of how consistent it has been at topping and winning events already. But any of these 3 can win. I added tier elements to the scramble here with the other 3 decks. As you can see, I divided the tiers by high chance to win, can still win, 1, 2 in the top cut, they can win. Rogue, which means they can maybe cut 1 and maybe top, but it's not probable. And table 500 is just not play this for any event. Tier element, with a Rise being banned, the only problem it has is Shifter. Dweller is making a comeback also because of Unchained, but if it gets going, it gets going, and the board it makes is really strong. It has lots of pieces of interaction, being monsters, being traps, being your field spell, it being also your graveyard. You make infusions your opponent's turn, so it's scary. It's gonna be more RNG based than when it was the most dominant CR0 deck, but it's still gonna cause some problems, and that's my opinion. Please comment if you have another opinion, but for me, it has a high chance to win this event. Next, we have the Flu. Flu is just great matchup into Unchained. It has a great matchup into most of these other decks, specifically link-based decks, and even if you're not playing links, they have so many tools at their disposal, and then being a Floodgate, Risa just being removal, the deck being consistent. I didn't put it in tier 1 just because of how it kind of lose to itself, so it's basically going to be the new Kashtira, in which the deck was really strong, but its weakness it's own self. We also have Labyrinth and Branded. Branded, it can be pure or Branded Despia or Branded Chimera. Dragonlink, which has not gone anywhere, it's as consistent as ever. Bestials just make this deck really good. Branded Regain is a really great card along with Beast. So this deck has shifted from combo-ish from its predecessors back to a more control-ish mid-range style. We have Runics. Runic, for me, like I stated in my channel before, it's an insane engine. We have the 2 variants, which can probably make it to the finals and maybe win it, which is the Fairhire and Evil Twin. I personally do not see a big difference between these 2. Like, any of these can win. I'm playing currently the Evil Twin Live Twin version, but Fairhire version is just as good. Also Sprite. Sprite is in the bottom of tier 1.5 just because it's Sprite, it's consistent, it can get you really far. People already know how to play against it, but the same can be said about most of the decks in this list. Salads are back with Gazelle at 3. I think consistency is what is going to take this deck far into the playoff cut, but the power level is a bit. The deck is power crept compared to the other decks in the meta, and Nibiru still hurts the deck a lot. And Nibiru is going to make a comeback just because of these combo decks, and with on-chain being so popular, like good on-chain players can play around Nibiru, but not all on-chain players are good on-chain players. So also have the Rika Sonovalon. This deck is really good. Not many people play it. That's why I put it in tier 2, but it can easily steal a win on the YCS. Same about Dark World. Draw is still to be seen how much popularity it's going to have for this upcoming YCS. But I think it's going to be a side deck option, and that provides Dark World with a game 1 win almost guaranteed, even going first or second. Like, they have no problem breaking board, and they have no problems establishing a board and handling you. So that's good enough. Vanadium, for me, it has always been a mid deck. It's so easy to stop. It's so predictable. That's why I put it in here. Marine says we got Gazelle at 3. So now Salad is the best Cybers deck just because of consistency. And the power level is a bit above Marine says. So Exorciser is a good anti-meta deck. With Trillaments being in the meta and Unchained also being in the meta, it can make some. It can be successful, but it really depends on the matchups. Like also the XYC, you are ending up in a big XYC, which people are already preparing for since they're preparing for Purely. So be mindful of that if you want to take Exorcisters. Banquet Soul, I don't like Banquet Soul that much, but it can still do good. And Synchro. Many people love this deck, and I know someone will take it to the top just because of it's really consistent right now, and the end board is pretty decent. It still loses to Draw, it still loses to Dark Lure probably, but if you don't have it, you don't have it. On the road, I have Kashtira. I put Kashtira on top just because it's still a great going second deck. It can break your board and OTK you. Fenrir still at 3. Unicorn still makes the deck pretty consistent, and you have Prosp, Thrust. So it really has become an engine along with other non-engine cards, and you can put a lot of non-engine in it. So that's why it works. Striker is just Striker. Math Mech, we have Gazelle, and we have the Argonaut from Marine Says, which is just better. Infernoble, many people are helped up in this deck, but I think you really need to be a good pilot, since to play a combo deck like Infernoble, which is 6 out of 10 in consistency, I'd rather play Dragonlink or Rika, since the power level is just as high and it's more consistent. Like, those two decks probably have 1-card combos, as of Infernoble most really rely on an Infernoble monster and Extender. So same goes for Sorso. It's an old deck, so people already know how to play against it. Mechanicals, just not much to say about it. It's a mid deck at least at best. I put it Rogue just because it has a great runic matchup. If you get the setup going, it's impossible to get rid of it, but apart from that, it's not doing much. Heroes, I put it here, but I should have put it on top of Rogue. Maybe it's really consistent and can take you far places. Trap Tricks, we have Labyrinth. Like, why would you play Trap Tricks in this format? It's a good deck. It can make Dweller really easily, which helps a lot against Unchained and Tournament, which we can see on top of the list. But it's not going to take you that far. That's, like I said, my opinion. Drytron, I love this deck to death, but right now people are maining Beauty Crows. Pistols are still on the loose, and Skullmeister is also pretty popular. Plus, Dweller also hits the deck. So Drytron is unfortunate case of a great deck that just gets hit by everything else that hits the meta. As for table 500, just don't take these decks. Naturia with Runic can be good. but it's not going to be consistent. Outlich with Branded can be good, but Play Labyrinth, it's going to be better. Dragon Slayers like Hashira can still lock one of your zones and you're not going to play. So that's the issue with Dragon Slayers at least. Plunders, I love Plunders, but since Kashira is no longer going to be such a viable choice, the Jord putting a token on your field, it's not going to be that great, specifically for this meta. So Scareclaw is just mid at best. It can top, I think, but you'd rather be playing other stuff. Ignister, Red Dragon Archfiend. Red Dragon Archfiend. I don't know a bunch about the deck. I may have put it lower than it should be. Maybe it's gonna be Rogue, but just play Dragon Link, you know. And at Ignister, we have other better Cybers decks. Plus, our rival is not as strong these formats because people are doing Herald of the Abyss and they have Kaijus and plus Roll is new format. So if you play Ignister locals, it can be great. It can win. But at YCS level, people are going to be prepared for you. You're just going to have a bad time.
So yeah, that was my breakdown. Let's see how it actually unfolds. There's supposed to be a few hours before the YCS ends, but if you have any opinions on this, if you disagree or agree, please comment on the comment section below.